What happened to Abigail Williams and Liberty German? Part 5, Delphi Homicide moves in new direction. After months of no news, on April 19, 2019, Indiana State Police released a statement titled, Delphi Homicide Investigation Moves in New Direction. The statement noted that the public was welcome to attend a media briefing on the following Monday at the Canal Center in Delphi. Superintendent Doug Carter would make the announcement on behalf of the multi-agency task force. The public grew curious and began to speculate that an arrest had been made, new information was going to be released, or that a new agency would be responsible for the investigation. On Monday, a room packed with attendees, including the families of Abby and Libby, sat in front of a red drape. When the press conference commenced, all eyes and ears were focused on Carter. Within minutes, Carter stated, "We're seeking the public's help to identify the driver of a vehicle that was parked at the old CPS/DCS welfare building in the city of Delphi that was abandoned on the east side of County Road 300 North next to the Hoosier Heartland Highway between the hours of noon and 5 on February 14, 2017. Note, Carter misspoke, and the date was later corrected to February 13. If you were parked there or know who was parked there, please contact the officers at the command post at the Delphi City building." In addition, Carter stated that they were releasing additional portions of the audio and asked the public to be aware that the individual speaking was the same individual who had said, "down the hill." The additional portion of the audio included a singular word, "guys." The sentence, "guys, down the hill," was played on repeat for the audience. Furthermore, Carter also released the first footage of the investigation. While only the stills of the suspect on the bridge were available previously, now people could see the suspect in action, crossing the bridge with his head down and his hands in his pockets. Though the footage lasts all but 2 seconds, Carter asked that the public be aware that he, the suspect, is walking on the former railroad bridge. Because of the deteriorated condition of the bridge, the suspect is not walking naturally due to the spacing between the ties. Carter added, "During the course of this investigation, we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary, as of today. The result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch is the person responsible for the murders of these 2 little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently, or has previously lived here, visits Delphi on a regular basis, or works here. We believe this person is currently between the age range of 18 and 40 but might appear younger than his true age." Carter, who at this time addressed the suspect directly, said, "Directly to the killer, who may be in this room, we believe you are hiding in plain sight. For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have. We have likely interviewed you or someone close to you. We know this is about power for you, and you want to know what we know. And one day, you will. A question to you, what will those closest to you think of you when they find out that you brutally murdered 2 little girls? 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing. We are confident that you have told someone what you have done, or at the very least they know because of how different you are since the murders." It was only after Carter concluded his message that the attendees' curiosity would be satisfied. The red drape was finally lifted, revealing yet another composite sketch, one that bore no resemblance to the previous sketch. As expected, the public had many questions. As Carter explained, he and the investigative team would not be taking questions for 2 weeks. It wasn't until Carter sat for an interview with Scott Sander, a reporter from News 8, a local news station, that the public would get their answers. Sander, like many people, was interested in learning whether or not Carter actually believed the suspect was in the room or was speaking figuratively. Carter answered, "I think if he wasn't in the room, he was close by, but I'm 100% convinced he was watching." Why? Because of all that has happened over the past 30 months, the information we have received, the information we knew. I hope to one day be able to tell that story. Sander also asked why the footage wasn't released sooner. Carter answered, "We'll one day be able to tell you what we know and why we didn't release it. We don't want to show our full hand. We don't want to show the complete picture of what we do now versus what we think. We have to be very careful there. Remember, it's easy to give an opinion if you don't understand the factual basis of what we've done and why. I don't mean that in a critical sense, but we have to protect the integrity of what we know. Sander then clarified whether or not it's correct that Indiana State Police doesn't want the public to look at both sketches but only the newly released sketch. Carter answered, "That's correct. But remember, a sketch is not a photograph. It's something similar to a resemblance. The likelihood of this being something between the two sketches is very strong. But again, that's a subjective opinion based on what I believe." People have criticized Carter and the investigative team for being tight-lipped throughout the course of the investigation. Opinions are strong, and some believe that the investigation was botched. To many, it's unfathomable why Indiana State Police won't release details such as the girl's cause of death. However, Carter, who had addressed the criticism, explains, "Only the killer knows that cause of death. And so do we. We can't show our full heart. We just can't."